What's up, everybody? GeauxBurns, and no, your eyes do not deceive you. This is Grand Theft Auto 4, which is the topic of today's video. I want to talk about cars, vehicles, rides, whips that are in Grand Theft Auto 4, are the DLCs, Battle to Tony, Lost in the Dam, that have yet to make the transition over to Grand Theft Auto Online, that I would like to see eventually included in a future installment. By the way, let me know below in the comment section what are some of the rides you would like to see in a future update in Grand Theft Auto Online that were in Grand Theft Auto 4 are one of the DLCs that's obviously not in the game at the moment. Like, for example, the Dukes, the Stallion, they were brought in a year ago with exclusive content for current gen Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC versions of Grand Theft Auto 5 and PC. Now, what's surprising is there's still a lot of really awesome vehicles that are only exclusive right now to Grand Theft Auto 4, which I think are eventually going to make their way over. Now, here are the honorable mentions that I want to bring up. The Police Stinger, that's one that a lot of people really want to see. That was in Ballad of Gay Tony, but currently we cannot own a police car or an emergency vehicle, so that's kind of a moot point at the moment. Then, of course, down at the bottom of this screenshot, you see this red car called the Super GT. I'm guessing if it's eventually added to Grand Theft Auto Online, it'll be in the supercar category. It might not be ever added because they just added the Osiris and the T20, and those are probably the top of the line supercars, and I don't think that the Super GT would be able to compete with those supercars. Then above the Super GT, you see the Faction, a really cool car that I would like to see included, along with over there at the top right-hand side, the Sabre. Yes, I know the Sabre Turbo's in the game. In Grand Theft Auto 4, it was called the Sabre GT, but in Grand Theft Auto Online, it is called the Sabre Turbo. This was the other version of the Sabre that was in Grand Theft Auto 4, a really cool version of the Sabre that I would like to also see eventually added in a future update. And below the Sabre, we have the Cavalcade FXT and SUT. I think that would be awesome in the game. And finally, the other honorable mention that I'll include is the Reefer Boat, because I really would like to do some Jaws role-playing machinimus. Even though there's currently no sharks in Grand Theft Auto Online. And with the honorable mentions out of the way, let's go ahead and get to my top 5 picks for rides from Grand Theft Auto 4 that I want to see in a future update for Grand Theft Auto Online. First off, the muscle car that I, myself, and so many others want, the Tampa. Look at this badass, sweet-looking muscle car. This is such a mean, fierce, sexy-looking ride. It was included with the Ballad of Gay Tony update. And I just love this muscle car, and I very much want to add it to my garage. And hopefully we will see the Tampa in a future update for Grand Theft Auto Online. I love the primary colors, the primary, the secondary paint jobs. It just looks so badass. The next GTA 4 ride I'd like to see eventually added is out of the truck SUT category, the Contender. Now, I realize we already mentioned an SUT, the Cavalcade FXT. Now, I would like to see the Cavalcade FXT added, but if I had to pick, if I had to choose, I would go for the Contender because I just think it looks cooler. Plus, we already have Cavalcades in Grand Theft Auto Online, and I just can't justify whatever the price tag is going to be for an FXT when I could just go steal one of the other two versions of the Cavalcade off the streets. But at the same time, since I am a truck guy and a muscle car guy and a sports car guy and a supercar guy, I would not mind seeing more trucks added to Grand Theft Auto Online. So I very much want to see the Contender and the Cavalcade FXT SUTs added to Grand Theft Auto Online in a future DLC. Next is motorcycles. Now, this is going to be difficult because there were so many motorcycles added with the Lost in the Dam update. There were 16 total. A couple of them are included on the screen right now. The Angel, the Diabolus, the Freeway, Hellfury, Lycan, Nightblade, Revenant, Wayfarer, Wolf's Bane, the Zombie, and more. And these are just some badass motorcycles that have yet to make the journey from Grand Theft Auto 4 to GTA Online. Like the Lycan, for example. Not exactly the best motorcycle. It looks really cool. While Johnny K test drives it for you, I just want to see more motorcycles added to the game, especially since there are a lot of crews out there that are all about the MC, the motorcycle clubs. There's so many fictional motorcycle club crews out there. It's crazy, and that's one of the things they want is a bikers or a gangs DLC that include new motorcycles and gang stuff, not just for motorcycle gangs, but for street gangs, etc. So definitely would like to see a gangs DLC with biker gear, gang gear, as well as some of the awesome motorcycles that were included with Lost and the Damned for Grand Theft Auto 4. But if I had to pick one or two motorcycles out of this list that I would like to see included, since I'm having to pick, I would go with probably the Wolfsbane and or the Nightblade, because those two motorcycles are badass. Now, the fourth ride that I want shipped over from Liberty City to Los Santos for Grand Theft Auto Online is going to be one that some of you might have a knee-jerk reaction to. It's in the sedan category. I know, no one likes sedans, but this is a sedan worth having in Grand Theft Auto Online. The PMP 600, aka the Chrysler 300. Now, bear with me for a moment. Let me explain why I want the PMP 600 in the game. Well, not this version. I want a cooler, meaner looking version of the PMP 600, very similar to, say, the 300 SRT8. Now that looks really mean. And if you're a Breaking Bad fan, you recognize this car. It was Walter's vehicle, his ride in season 5 of Breaking Bad. So that's the big reason why I want SRT version of the PMP 600 eventually included in Grand Theft Auto Online. I just think it would look really cool to drive around in, and would obviously be used in a lot of machinimas and role plays, paying homage to Breaking Bad. The fifth vehicle I want added from Grand Theft Auto 4 is out of the military emergency category, the APC. Yes! Now, this ride was included with the Ballad of Gay Tony update, and it was technically the only tank in Grand Theft Auto 4. While it might not be as strong as a tank or pack the same punch as the tank's cannon, it's still fast, it's somewhat maneuverable, and I really do love that semi-auto cannon on top of the APC. And there you have it, the 5 rides that I want to see added to Grand Theft Auto Online that were originally in Grand Theft Auto 4.